Hello to you who is watching this. This has been a long time coming for me throughout my life. I'm doing this because I realise that there's a lot of people out there, men and women, who are going through changes in their life that they don't understand and can't explain, and it's affecting them and the people around them, everyone around them. My name's Tim, and I'm just going to tell you my story and then explain what I'm doing with my future to help others that need the help, need the guidance, need the hope in their lives to keep going on, and understand that they're just they're going through something that is almost the beginning of their lives again. So throughout my life, like everybody else, there's been a lot of interesting moments, challenges, changes. I started off as a kid. I was always very active, loved my sport, average at school, but very, very emotional, in the sense that I wasn't afraid to say how I felt. But growing up in New Zealand, for example, and Australia would be very similar, even other parts of the world. As a boy in the 70s and 80s, you're taught to be a man, to be strong, not to show weakness. And what that does to you is it takes away your natural instincts and it buries them deep. And the deeper they get buried, the more trauma it creates within you. And eventually that trauma has to come out. So anyway, we'll get to that further. But anyway, so I went through my life, did the usual things, got to reasonably high level sport. School was school, didn't really enjoy it that much, but still went because it was the right thing to do. And left school, did the usual thing, went and got a job. Didn't go to university because that just wasn't my calling. That was one thing I did do, is I did put my foot down about that and decide that I wasn't going to go to school, go to university. But all throughout this time, something was niggling at me. You're not living what I know now as my truth, my life purpose. I was doing what society said I had to do. And got married, young, 23. Got divorced. Separated from my first wife at 27 for reasons that I thought, but I found out a couple of years later, completely different. That was back in New Zealand, came to Australia, started life again, and had relationships, and I found that there was one person in my life that was actually causing, or I was allowing some of my relationships to be affected by, and I'll get to that later. So, ended up, I met my beautiful wife, Kiralee, and I've now got two beautiful kids, Mac and Eden, and luckily they're still with me. I worked through my career, and I reached that point in your career where you've started off sweeping floors way back, sweeping floors in warehouses, and you get to the top, well, to the point where the point that you strove to get to. And I got to the point of being on the six-figure salary, company car, big office, doing what I thought was the right thing to do, not what I felt was the right thing to do. And I had a lot of little reminders along the way, little taps on the shoulder from whatever you want to call it, the universe, me, my soul, but I didn't listen to any of them. And one day in 2012, I decided to leave my car at home, and I was a cyclist, and decided to do a training ride to work. And I got within 2 kilometres of work, and a car came down from a side street and decided to slam me from behind. And it was uncomfortable, obviously, but there was a moment that I'm aware of that that I had the choice to live or die, and I remember it because I chose to live. And for me, luckily, there was no real physical injuries. What I did get from it was what's now been diagnosed and is used, unfortunately, these days as a huge umbrella for all forms of stress, anxiety, anger issues, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's nice when you're going through something to actually be given a label, so something for you to hang on to, but at the same time, what it does is it puts you into a box, and within that box, the trained professionals have specific tools within that box to fix you, they think. And I'm not bagging out any of the trained professionals, because some of them have been absolute godsends to me. But, and everything has a place, which is what I discovered. Everything has a place. When you need Western medical help, it's important it's there, and they're there to repair the physical damage that's been done. If you have a psychological problem, what I've found for me personally, and this may resonate with other people, but when you have a psychological problem, there is nothing in the world that will help you on the road to recovery unless you choose to actually recover yourself. So I didn't choose to do that for a couple of years, but I went along and I did everything that the Western medical system said I had to do. And there was one moment with one person, my psychologist, where he gave me some really good advice, and it has stuck with me throughout my recovery once I chose to recover. But right through that whole process, at no point did I really buy into what the Western medical system was trying to do for me. And part of that reason was I was stuck in an insurance claim, because out of the accident, I lost my job, I lost my career, and through the PTSD and my anger, because I hadn't chosen to recover, I almost lost my wife and kids. And I didn't. They stuck by me, and I don't know why. And it was all through choice. I hadn't chosen to actually survive. Truly. I hadn't. Yes, I'd chosen at the point of death to live, but I had to go through a process of truly dying to start again on the true path that I was here for. And what that is that I have had to learn who I am, accept who I am, allow me to be me, and through that, the ones that truly love you, they understand and they stick with you, because you're actually speaking your truth once you've actually decided to live for yourself. So, what got me there? Change, environmental for me. Others, completely different. Could be just simply changing your job, if you can go back to your job if you've been through trauma, or if you're going through trauma, or you may not need to leave your job or change your job. It may be just that you need a lifestyle change. It's just trying to find what it is that's causing or holding you back from being in your truth. For me, it had to be huge, because I hadn't listened all the way along. I hadn't listened to all of the niggling, that little voice in the back of your head that says, this isn't right, you're not doing the right thing, you're not enjoying life, you're not loving life. So for me, I had to get a big wake up, a big choice to make. I'm grateful for the choice I made, because now I'm sitting here and I'm doing this, and I'm hoping that even if this reaches one person, it'll be worth it. So what do I do now? I don't earn anything like what I was. That's okay. Everything's in perspective a lot more. I spend a lot of time with my wife and my children. It's so important. I have a job where I provide a service to people, and within that job, 9 times out of 10, I end up giving them a lot of help, guidance, support, because I'm attracting people that are going through similar things. And that's what's led me to this, is I drive a van and I deliver people's couches from one home to another. I deliver tables, I deliver fruit and vegetables. This is what I do. This is what I did to make sure that my family and I could still exist, because I couldn't do my old job. But the people I'm meeting are reinforcing to me that my purpose here is to actually give people who are struggling the most simple thing that all I wanted through my process of recovery. It's one word: hope. If somebody had spoken to me in the way that I speak to people now, and I'm not talking myself up or anything, if they'd given me, or just listened to me with the empathy the experience of understanding what it is that they're going through, what you're going through, or what somebody you know is going through, then I could have made it through quicker, or maybe it's never meant to be. But the fact is that the biggest thing that we all want is hope. We just want to know that we can actually make it through. It's a tough battle, and there's days where you just want to string yourself up. And I'm not pulling punches. That's one thing I won't do. Everybody says to me, oh, you can't talk like this, you can't talk like that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Bullshit. There were days when I had trees lined up on a motorway ready to kill myself. Fact. That's when you need to reach out for somebody that has experienced it, that can at least in the beginning give you hope that you can make it through. And when you actually know that there is hope, you can actually make a choice to live. And when you've made that choice, that's when everybody else can start helping you. They can't help you before that. You have to start it. I had to. So I'm going to wrap this up now because it's probably going a bit long. But what I am going to do is throughout, over the course of time, I am going to put videos up. I have a Facebook page called The Soul Warrior. And I'll put, somehow when I figure out how to do all of this, I'll put a link to it. I want to provide a service to people who are struggling with the lack of hope in their life. We need to talk to people, and it may be me or it may be somebody else. I might be able to put you on to someone else if you don't feel comfortable with me. But I want to provide something to all the people when I had nothing. I had to find my own way. I had to battle my own way, and it was fine. It was good, but it got me here. It got me here to the point where I am able to actually give people hope. Now, this is a business. I'm not going to lie about that. There is a fee. It is my time. I do not profess to be a medical professional at all. No way, shape or form. I'm just a man, a human, who has seen some things in his life, experienced trauma, experienced stress, anxiety, experienced that moment where you just want to leave this earth, experienced love, joy, happiness, and realised that when I'm in my truth, it's the most enjoyable time of your life, no matter what that truth is. So look me up on The Soul Warrior. You can message me on Facebook. We can connect through Messenger. I will, if you want to work with me, I'll give you my number. We can do Skype, Zoom, just by phone. I'm here to, and it may only be just one session with me that helps you understand and leads you to the path of recovery and the path of hope. Alright, thanks very much for listening, and I really appreciate it. Much love, Tim.